Hello all, and welcome back to my channel, Red Femme Diaries. You know, there is one thing that I do not understand. I do not understand how there are so many people that actually want socialism and communism. There's people that really want big government, and they feel like the government, is supposed to pay for their health care, their education. They want all these things for the government, and that never made any sense to me. There's a scripture in the Bible. It's 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. I'm going to read it here. It says, "This we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat." And I've pretty much lived by that my entire life. I do not know any different. You must work. It is what it is. So, I'm pondering that, why? Why, Red Femme Diaries? Why don't the people want to work? And I came across this video, and it's this young lady. And man, let me tell you guys something. In the world that we're living in now, you have to take every bit of information and you have to comb through it with a fine-tooth comb, because delusion is high in the times that we're in, and it is very easy to fall into delusion, a deluded state, excuse me. We're gonna, how we do, y'all. We about to break this thing down. So I'm gonna play this clip of this young woman, and she's talking about work and the world system, and if you don't comb through what she's saying with a fine-tooth comb, what she's saying sounds good and it sounds right. But as I listened to the words she was saying, I was like, this is actually quite satanic. Well, anti-God. This is not godly, what she's saying, but it's hard to pick it up. So we about to break it down. Before I get into, let's go ahead. Let's stop here. We're going to watch this video, and then we are going to come back.
Are unable to hold a job, that's probably why, because you are being called to serve your purpose. Okay, you're not here to work. No one here is meant to work a job. That is not normal. Our job is to work on ourselves, to improve ourselves, to find the truth, the meaning of life within us, right? The meaning of our life. The truth, that is what we're meant to do here. But the rulers of the world have turned our job, right, which is to find ourselves, into serving them. And that's why we are slaves now. But I refuse to be a slave. And I will never, ever, and I say it right now, I will never, ever work for another person. I will do anything that it takes, but I will not work for others.
All right, y'all. Y'all catch that? Did you catch it? If not, don't worry about it. I caught it for you. Now let's break this thing down. Now, one of the first things she kind of talks about is she doesn't, like the idea of working for somebody. She wants to work for herself. We call this, entrepreneurship, I'm going to start laughing because we are so foolish sometimes. So nowadays you hear that a lot. Have you noticed that? You always hear it about being an entrepreneur, make your own money, do your own thing. So first, let's understand this clearly. I absolutely 100 agree with entrepreneurship. My husband has always, since I've known him, and I've known him for 17 years now, but he's always worked for himself. So I am 100% behind that. But a woman like this, but I would say this, it's not for everybody. Okay, not everybody can be an entrepreneur, because as you hear this woman speak, it's not that she doesn't like working for somebody. This woman doesn't like working, and that's the problem. And right now, please, any my white subscribers, Hispanics and Asians, especially the Asians, because y'all don't have a problem working. But I want to talk to my black people right now, because you hear so many of us talking about building their brand and their own business, and they're CEO of this, and they're managing that, and they got this. They don't want to work, so they have all these other things going, but The area that I live in now, it's a large black population. I've never lived around a large black population. So there's lots of small black businesses all over the place. And when I first moved here, I was like, wow, I've never seen this. But then I started noticing something about some of these black businesses. Sometimes they wouldn't keep the hours that were posted on the sign. A lot of times as a restaurant, they were out of things. I found that some of the places were just not clean. And some place you walk into, black businesses, they look at you like, why are you here? You know what I mean? It wasn't like that good, consistent, solid service. Where back where I'm from, it was, California is mostly immigrants. And so when I tell you, they are not playing games. Like even the ones here, there's wing places all over the place. This Asian man, since we've been here, he does not skip a beat. They are open on time all the time. Well, I think they're closed one day. 6 days a week. They stocked. Their kids be up there. These immigrants come here hungry. The problem with black people, we've been here too long. We've gotten very lazy. We want all the fruits of labor, but we don't want to actually do the labor. The thing about it is, a lot of these Asians, they live, and Hispanics too, they'll live very meager lives. You know what I mean? And dedicate all their time on their business. So then they have that inheritance to pass down to their children. We want the glitz, glam, and name brand and cars and all these things without necessarily being able to, put in the work. And you know what, you guys, I'm preaching right now. So, really, if this video is too long for you, just click the heck off. I hate hearing that. You know what I mean? Just don't listen if it's too long for you. But let me say this. I was on a drive today, and I swear it's almost like God shows me things or something. It's weird. So I was driving today, and there's this little area of town where all of the day workers go and hang out there. A whole bunch of them. And as I'm driving down the street, all Hispanic. God, I want to say where I live. You guys can probably figure it out by now. It's not that difficult. A large black metropolitan area. Wonder where that could be. But anyway, still got to act like you guys don't know. So it should be. It's a black, a part of the country. So it should be all blacks out there. Almost all Hispanics out there, work boots, work pants, tools out there. And I'm driving by Hispanics, about 50 of them had to been. And then I saw the 4 black men, the ones that were out there trying to get work. The 4 black men were huddled all together. One had a leather jacket. So at first I had to look, are these day workers or are they just guys saying, I know they were the day workers. They were huddled up in a corner, kind of talking together amongst themselves at the very end of where the line of the workers were. So you'd pass 50 other people before you got to them. Now, as I'm passing by in the middle of this whole, line of workers and stuff, one guy is a Hispanic guy. I think he had like a tool bag or something, and he was waving as soon as the truck would come in, he started waving the truck and waving like, hey, me. Now, if I had a job to do, who would you choose? Would you choose the man in work boots, ready to go waving down that he wants to work? You're absolutely going to choose that person. To be able to get to those 4 black men, you had to drive way to the line, and they don't even look like they want to work. He got a leather jacket on, looking real cool. He looked good. He looked spiffy, but he didn't look like he was about to work. And so I'm looking at this. I'm like, now ain't this something? It's funny because, a lot of times the black population, most of us vote Democrat. A lot of us are for this, or well, they don't know what they're voting for when you do half the time, but they're wanting this socialism and communism. That's why Black Lives Matter, they were trained in Marxism. They want this stuff. And it makes you think, why? So the next thing, sorry, I'm going on and on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I digress. Let me calm down. Sorry, I get pumped up. So the next thing, she starts talking about the quote unquote rulers of the world. And what I'm going to say, maybe go back. Instead of her saying the rulers of the world, put in the Most High. And you can see this lady is almost talking to God and showing him her defiance, because let's get up into this word. We're going to go to Genesis. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 19. Let's see what it says here. Let me pause it while I look for this. Hold on, guys. Okay, found it. So this is what God said from the very beginning, okay? And it says here, in the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return. And that's it right there. And I gave you the other passage from, it was a 2 Thessalonians earlier. You got to work. You got to work. That's God's way. And you can, when we try to circumvent God's way, you see the world that we're living in now. You see the countries that are engulfed in socialism and communism, where the government fully controls everything. Trust me, just because the government is controlling doesn't mean they not gonna work you. Understand that you're not escaping work. That way, that's why other ways outside of God's way simply do not work. They fail. And let me explain this to you. So some of y'all, I can imagine there's some of you people out there like, dang it, I don't like working. But let me say this part to you, okay? And here's where we actually do serve a good God. We really do. It says we don't understand it. We try to lean to our own understanding, but we can't. Let me tell you how much of a blessing work really truly is. Actually, let me not do that. Let me play this next part of this video, and then I'm going to talk about that, because this lady, that was one video, and then this next video is like, I think maybe it was a few months or years later, but it was after that one. So let's see how her entrepreneurial spirit worked out for her. Okay, let's watch that.
Peace, talking to myself once again, and this time I am back to first introduce you to my new YouTube channel. I just created a YouTube channel with me and my guy, and we will formally introduce each other to you guys very soon. So I would like you to please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. It is called We Don't Know, and I will include the link down below. And please, I ask you to subscribe and be a part of our journey. Now, I want to talk about jobs and the stress that jobs put on us, like traditional 9-to-5 jobs. So I just started a new job, actually, once again. I try, because obviously we all need money, and working for myself as well was it's very responsible. It's a lot of responsibilities, and my businesses, in all honesty, were not doing so well lately. So I was like, you know what, maybe this is a sign that I should go and just start a new job.
Y'all, wasn't that fun seeing that female eat a big, huge, hot plate of crow right there? She talked all that mess, and she had to take her behind right on back to work. Because, see, people like that don't understand what I was saying before. You know what I'm saying? You go and work. I just want to take a minute just to talk about my husband a little bit. And before I go into this, I need to make something very, very crystal clear, if I don't make anything else clear. I see comments sometimes saying, oh, Red Femme Diaries, you're just a great wife and a great mother. And oh, Red Femme Diaries, oh, you're just a great woman. Sorry. Let me tell y'all something. Don't do that. Please don't do that. And I think I said this in my first video. I do not know a woman worse than myself. Okay? So don't do that when I tell this story. Okay? See, this is why this is my diary. So I'm going to be honest. Somebody told me the other day, hold on for just a second. They said that I didn't care about my sons. So I want to tell y'all something. Today was my third. It's 8:36 where I am. So I got a few more hours. But today will be my third day being sober. And today I had my second AA meeting, and if you guys know about that, I got my white chip today. So I needed to make that clear to you all. So as I speak about my husband, and don't have envy spark up, because when I tell you this life is no joke. All right, that being said, I want to make sure that was clear. So let me tell you about my husband, man. Now that is an entrepreneur. My God, that man, people, y'all don't understand. That man works day and night. He does not give up. He's been in sales for years, like over 20 years, and he don't take no for an answer. Y'all ain't got that in you. I'm not saying y'all, but you know what I'm saying. Not everybody has that. He has fallen and he's built himself back up more than once. I'm going to say this real quick story and then I'm going to move on again. But all right, I live in the South there. That's all I'm going to tell you about where I live. I'll tell y'all eventually, but I'm very shy. So anyway, when we moved from California to where we are now, my husband, he used to get residuals from his insurance business. And because we moved, he didn't realize it got all cut off. I mean, he went from making, good money per month to almost nothing. And here he has moved to a new state with his wife and kids. And we've been here, how long have we been here? 4 years, I'm going to say. And when I tell you that man built himself back up from nothing with a wife that had cancer and a new alcohol problem and all the things, he built himself back up and he's still working. I mean, trust me, we are not millionaires, but you know what I mean? We were making it now, you know what I mean? For a minute there, things had gotten really rough, but that's how you got to be. You have to be hungry. And that's why I've told you guys in many videos, as a man, don't put your focus on us. You know what I'm saying? And as women, it's hard to be in that position, but you got to understand the blessing you have of having a man over you in this world. And so, I mean, it's amazing. Like he works. He's working right now, but then he still makes time for his boys. Like I said again, I promise you, our life if I ought to do a video just on the things that we've been through, it is not easy, okay? But anyway, so that being said, so I just want to say that about him, but I stopped earlier and I was getting ready to talk to you guys about the blessing of work. Man, let me tell you, work is a blessing. You got to make it a blessing, okay? Work sometimes is what saves me. I have a severe depression, anxiety, all these things, but when I'm at work, I don't have time to worry about those things because I'm busy. My hands are busy. I got things I'm doing. And right now, if I wasn't, because this is work. Trust me, I have to look up this stuff and clips and this is not physical labor, but this is some work. But if I didn't have this, my boys are getting older, so they're not babies. I'm not changing diapers and stuff like that. And so they do their thing and my husband's working, you know what I mean? So that's why I can't do this very often, but this is work. And if I didn't have this, I'd, be laid up somewhere, maybe watching things that aren't good and things like that. But this is work and I enjoy it. Like I'm enjoying talking to you guys and all these sorts of things. And my job is a physical job. And man, let me tell y'all something. It ain't nothing in the world like coming home to your home from a good, hard day's work. Man, a lot of depressed people, the worst thing they could do is stop working. I say, and they put all these people on, disability for mental health reasons. I have mental health problems. I have major depressive disorder, okay? So I understand. I'm not being insensitive. What I'm saying is that's the worst thing you can do is to not make them work. I have to be at work. So I don't care how depressed I am. I get up and I got to force myself there. But man, once you get going, okay, you get going and you start feeling better and you feel good that you did something, especially if you do a good job, work real hard. I tell my boys, I'm considering putting this clip at the end of this. Someone said it's inappropriate to put private conversations between me and my boys, but I think they might help somebody. So I'm gonna think about it. It might be there, it might be not, I don't know. But I always give them the toilet example. Even if your job is to clean a toilet, you clean that sucker to the best of your ability. My grandmother told my mother this, my mother told me this. My grandmother said, whatever job you do, you work so good that they cannot replace you. Okay? And some people are like, no, you're working for the man. You're not working for the man. We work unto the Lord. And let me bust that out right now. Shoot, since we're there. So this scripture comes from this is Colossians chapter 3, verse 23 to 24. Listen to this, y'all. All right, here it go, y'all. It's Colossians 3, 23, 24. I think I said that. Now I'm using the NIV version for this because I don't want anybody confused. Like, I want y'all to hear this and hear this clear. It says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. Look, y'all, these scriptures I read, even if you're an atheist, and I have one of my good friends atheist, even if you're an atheist, that is good, solid wisdom right there. Take that in. All right, it was long enough for you guys to take that in. All right, see, that's the key. You know, I've been working a long time. I had my first job when I was 14 years old, and I worked at a convalescence center, and the supervisor's name, I think it was Vi, to be honest with you. I can't remember. It's one of those, big turkey-armed, black woman in the kitchen, kind of big lady. Man, and I tell you, I have PTSD from that woman. That woman was so nasty to me. I was a very scrawny 14-year-old, but she was so nasty to me. But that was my first job, and I wasn't very good at it. You know what I'm saying? I was very young for that job, but I've worked ever since, and the job I have now, I absolutely love this job. But when I tell you, it took a long time to get here. I've been through some not so great work experiences, some horrible coworkers, horrible bosses, all these things, but ain't no job ever let me go. You know what I'm saying? And every job that I've left, they can write me a stellar review, no matter how bad some of the conditions were, because even back then, I wasn't Christian yet back then, but I just remember the words of my grandmother, and I got to do a good job. But then when I, read the word too, it was like it put two and two together, like, okay, this makes sense. So we're going to look at this last clip. See, this wasn't that bad, you guys. You know what I mean? I keep getting that, you got to make them short to get more. You know, I want more viewers. I do. But at the end of the day, I have an assignment. Like, yeah, I do this, but this honestly feels like an assignment, because like, if I did not do this, I will not be able to sleep. It's weird. I don't get it. But it's like, I gotta do this. So it's long, but even if one person hears it, it's like changes their perspective on how things are and how they're in the right way, then it is what it is. And hopefully viewers might come. And I pinky swear my next video is going to be short. It's going to be like, some person doing something crazy, because those get lots of viewers coming on. Some crazy foolishness always does. This real stuff, I watch my views, is not going to be that high, because it's long, it's serious, it's deep, and people are not trying to hear this. Maybe I should twerk while I do these. Just kidding. I'm kidding, y'all. Anyway, let's look at this last video and see. You're going to hear this woman complaining, and in the comment section of the video, the people were like, I got the same problem, and yeah, these jobs be tripping. Here's my thing. If you've had 20 jobs and they all let you go, they ain't all tripping. It's you. Okay, it's not always somebody else, but it's just so interesting. You hear this woman, complaining, about this job, and I'm just looking like, honey, it's you. And you're hearing this one. You hear her talking about, I think I need to work for myself. Okay, yeah, right. Anyway, so that is the end here. Like I said, I'm battling back and forth whether to put the clip of my sons on this one, because people funny about that. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I don't know. It's a tough one because I'm so private, as you guys can see. But anyway, like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. This has been Red Femme Diaries. Goodbye.
What other people might say, maybe you're the type of person like me who can't keep a job because you're the type of person that stands up for yourself on jobs, and people can't stand that, so you always end up getting fired or whatever. But I'm going to show you the reason why I feel it's time for me to leave the job I'm on again. So the manager asked me to sweep the floor, mop the floor, after I've already done it 2 days ago. This is what I come back to. Okay, when every person closes the store, they're supposed to take out the garbage, make sure everything is washed, folded. This is what I came to. See that? Washing machine full of towels and capes. When I came here, I came in being the team player. That's not working here because I'm working with people who don't contribute to team effort. Now, I'm contemplating either transferring or just leaving in general before it gets uncomfortable and ugly. But this always happens to me on jobs, not because I'm a softie and a pushover, but because people like to push their limits, and I don't go for it. And then when they see that I'm not going for it, then everything gets real nasty.